ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony G. Make sure I'm connected. Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm over. I found my Blue Parrot headset until I upgrade and get my other one. But in the meantime, you guys can hear me and things. So, yeah, at it again today. Another day, another beautiful dollar. But yeah, we're talking about America. America is heading in the right direction, you know what I'm saying, as we enter into the golden age, and we're going to talk about it. I'm very, very confident. I'm very, very satisfied voting for President Trump and things like that. And it ain't a belief, but he's really, really been doing his thing. Fighting the deep state, pushing back the Democrats. You know, um, basically, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Trump been doing. Trump has been, let's say, undermining and removing what we say the things that Obama under Biden, especially Obama when he was in office, he did a lot of things against the American people, and Trump has been reversing it. I wouldn't say undermining because really, in fact, when we start looking at the Uniparty, they have been undermining and subverting the will of the people, especially with the president of Donald Trump. So there's a lot of things coming from the Uniparty that they have been doing, and Trump has been kicking their, you know what, he's been kicking their ass majorly, ladies and gentlemen, majorly. So I'm definitely let's say I'm very, very happy. I'm pleased. This is what I voted for, and many of us, 77 million people, voted for. We wanted not just change, but America first. See, Obama promised change, but with Trump in this administration, this second term, for sure, he's rolling. And we are getting not just change, we're talking about American first. Never in my life I heard a president talk about Americans first, right? The whole American first thing. If we look at Trump's approval rating, it's 87%. 6 months ago, 87%. The numbers have not moved, ladies and gentlemen. Why are they telling us that Trump and MAGA and that the ratings have gone down? They say that MAGA is on the verge of being split up, right? They have tried all these tactics, right, ladies and gentlemen, to break up MAGA, to destroy MAGA. They went after Turning Point. They went after Charlie Kirk's legacy and things like that. And, still humming like a well oiled machine. So the Uniparty and the enemies to the MAGA movement, I mean, we're still here. As I said before, Trump has an 87 approval rating. 6 months ago, he had an 87 approval rating. So if this was true about MAGA, about Trump ratings going down, it's just simply not true at all, though. So in fact, the shields are being exposed. They were just saying something on X, right? That they were able to see where places, these countries, where people were posted. And I've been said that a lot of these people were phony. These phony shields and stuff. They get on here and post on social media talking about they are posing as Americans when in actuality they're coming from other countries, coming from India, they're coming from Ireland, they're coming from places other than the United States. And if you don't think that these people had a hand in our elections back in 2020 because they have helped, with the opposition to cheat, you know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what they did. So yeah, so we're seeing it right now, ladies and gentlemen, big time, right? We're looking at it on regards to Trump and things like that, and we are on our way. We're still on this heading towards the same course, the course of success, the golden age, as I mentioned before. Now once again, we have to look at the Federal Reserve again. The Federal Reserve, right? This is the part. Now Trump promised us that he was going to get these interest rates down low, but once again, the Federal Reserve. This is the key. I want you guys to keep your eyes on the Federal Reserve. This has always been the enemy of the United States, as I said before. The Federal Reserve, ladies and gentlemen, the Federal Reserve, which is a central bank, the Western Central Bank that controls our monetary, right? Funding. We're talking about people in the political party, we're talking about the Treasury. They borrow money from the Federal Reserve. It is a endless, bottomless um, cash cow that they can always borrow money from, and they have this exuberant amount of interest attached to it. No wonder we are at $37 trillion, right? They know that they don't have to pay for it, but the burden falls back on the people once again. And we have to keep talking about this because this is the main culprit right here. All this other stuff, politicians do not control the inflation, even the president. But one thing we know is coming from the Federal Reserve, right? And Trump and what he and team is trying to do is to eliminate the Federal Reserve Bank because it mean us no good. As I said this before many of times, and I said, it's time for me to come back again and talk about the Federal Reserve Bank again. And I want the content creators once again to start talking more about the Federal Reserve Bank. You have enough information out there to be able to break it down, right? Understand who they are, what they are, and who controls them, right? These are non-elected officials, right? That we never voted for. But they are the people that have these people right here. They control our politicians. They have controlled our presidents in the past, right? So every um, reprehensible thing that you can ever think about, right? Coming from the Federal Reserve Bank. That's a fact, right? And this is one of the reasons right now they're not going to cut the rates. Not what Trump wants them to cut the rates, because let's say this: if we lived in a perfect world, let's just say Trump was successful getting rid of the Federal Reserve Bank, which is very difficult to do. But let's just say if he was able to get rid of it, will we have inflation today? Absolutely not. Will we have the IRS? Absolutely not. Right? They work in tandem with each other. And I still believe that Trump has been gutting the IRS. The reason why we know, because all those employees, they're not working in government no more. Because what Trump's goal was to do, what he was to shrink government. Obama Biden was to increase government. So these are two different mindsets. One works for the people, one works against the people, right? And this is why we in this big, big mess that we in that right now. We in a lot of big doodle because of the Federal Reserve Bank. And as long as that thing and that entity exists, you're not going to see it can't exist at all. We don't want low inflation. We want no inflation. I should have that. That should be a meme, right? Well, we don't want low inflation. I mean, we'll take it, but we don't want none. We don't want any, nada, no inflation. How in the hell could we have inflation when we don't even have, if we, let's say, got rid of the Federal Reserve Bank? And this is something right here that all Americans should be rah-rahing about, right? I mean, because it makes a lot of sense. These politicians, I'm talking about the uniparty. When I say Republican, Democrat, right? And we know a lot of these low down, rhino ass Republicans. You know what I'm saying? I hear that Bush is trying to make a comeback. Bush, you need to sit your ass down. You know what I'm saying? Shut the F up, because it's gonna be hard for the Bushes to try to take over the Republican Party when it's been MAGA. Trump has an 87%. He's still rock solid. These people have not turned their backs on Trump. With all this bullshit going on, he's still rock solid. It's a fact. So how is the rhinos are going to take over? How is Bush is going to take over the MAGA when he doesn't even have the popularity that Trump does? A lot of people didn't like Bush Jr., right? I didn't never like this guy, right? So how is he going to take over the Republican Party? Doesn't make any sense, right? He need to sit his rhino ass, liberal ass Sit his ass down, man. Ain't nobody looking that way. Far as I'm concerned, the rhinos are just as bad. They're in bed with the liberals. They don't have shit coming, man. Nobody's gonna touch this guy, right? It's the truth. Nobody's gonna touch Bush Jr. Nobody gonna touch this guy, man. Everybody know that this guy is a war monger, right? You know what I'm saying? It is, you know. These are war hawks, right? These are neocons, right? They push for war. War is what? Money, right? So these war hawks, Bush Jr. have nothing coming. Talking about he's gonna take over the Republican Party. The Republican Party was taken over by MAGA because Trump is a peace president. Bush Jr. is a war president. Flat like that, straight like that, right? So this is what I'm saying, right? I gotta change the algorithms around a little bit just to be able to get some attention in here. Anything with MAGA, anything with Trump, it's automatically shadow banned, man. We know the game, right? We know the game, right? We know the game. So therefore, like I said, I love showing off that hat, that bicentennial annual thing where we're going to be celebrating 250 years of the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing. From 1776. That's a beautiful hat right there, man. I will rock that one. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and order that hat and things like that. But yeah, I'm gonna order that cap, man, because that's a beautiful cap. I can walk around with that cap, and they got it in black. They got it in red. I believe they have it in blue as well, and possibly they may have it in white. I appreciate. Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying. So that's the thing about it. But yeah, I'm just waiting on my MAGA supporters to come into the room, and when they do, you know what I'm saying, that we can go ahead and talk about it. Even though I'm talking about stuff now, that cap, man, that's a beautiful red cap, man. Let me tell you, celebrating our bicentennial and things like that. There's no country in the world greater than the United States of America. You know, we have rights here. We have freedom of speech, right? We have the Second Amendment rights. We have a lot of things in America that other countries in the world do not have. And I believe that the majority of the people, this is why they voted for this guy, man, because he said America first. As soon as things are getting better, though. I stood by Trump ever since then, and I stand by Trump now, right? I love the policies. I love the direction overall where this country is going. You know what I'm saying? So that's the beautiful thing, though. You can't name anybody else that had America's back. This guy took a bullet and was about to take many more, though. You know what I'm saying? He will not stop. He did not quit. Will not surrender. Who surrendered? Marjorie Trader Green. She surrendered, right? This is what she did. She was never about MAGA, right? She's ambition. She had this ambition about her, me, like most women, right? That ain't no shocker. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how long her and that guy that she's married to, that's Trump's best friend. I think that relationship is going to dissolve, though. You know what I'm saying? But at any event, she's really irrelevant, man. Because I never really talked about MTG very much. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know her, but things that Laura Loomer been talking about makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, though. You know. So yeah, I know Laura Loomer ain't lying. She ain't lying about this woman. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate this woman, but the fact is that she's a traitor. She doesn't work for in the best interest of America. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty obvious. It's very pretty obvious. 6 minutes away for a multi trip. I don't think so. But at any event, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. So this is what it is, though. You know, she had no. She was not going to win. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't going to win, and I think she knew it. And without Trump's endorsement, it was impossible for MTG to win. She wasn't going to win. That's why she resigned as congressman. So when it comes January 2026, she'll be out of there. You know what I'm saying? Good riddance. See ya, but I wouldn't want to be ya. Bye, MTG, you traitor bitch. get the fuck out. But at any event, yeah. So, going back on my other points, though, man, I really like that cap, man, ladies and gentlemen, man. I love that cap. That's a nice cap. They got it in red, they got it in blue, they got it in black, and I like that cap, man, because it does. It has a symbol of America. You know what I'm saying? Got the eagle, got the flag. You know what I'm saying? And let's talk about this sedition stuff. Well, who are they calling out, telling these military people that they shouldn't, they shouldn't listen to Trump, right? They shouldn't listen to him. Now, I'm gonna say this though. I think it was a military person that said it too. I'm not talking about the um, people that are private citizens for right now. You know what I'm saying? The people I'm talking about people that are in the military, right? That's telling other military people they should listen to Trump. Let me tell you something now. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, treason, right? Eight or USC 18, right? What was it? What's that? US shoot, I'm starting to forget my things now. Oh yeah, 2381, right? It already says what that really means, though, you know. And I think that anybody in that capacity should be investigated and hauled off to jail, because what they're doing is it's going against the president and it's going against the people of the United States of America. We don't have time for this. Anybody that's committing a seditious act could either be in prison or death. And that's what it says under that code, under the USC code. It said either or. It didn't just say death, but it said either or, imprisonment or death, right? You know what I'm saying? So this is exactly what it is, 2381. You right? 2381. USC 2381. That is it. This is what we talking about, treason. We're talking about people that are conspiring against our president and government to overthrow it, right? And this is what they did even back then with the Russia thing, the Steele dossier. Stuff still exists. These people hate Trump. It ain't about his personality. It's about what he's doing for the American people. It ain't got nothing to do with what he's saying. That's cap and bullshit. It's not. It's about what he's doing for the people. And they don't like it. They can't stand it. Y'all have to remember now that this has been an illegal operation for a very long time. It didn't matter who was president. All of your presidents have all been selected, right, for unelected officials. That's cap. You think people voted for Biden? You think people voted for Obama and Bush or any of them? I got a bridge to sell you. They did not. They were all selected, right? And this is why we in the situation right now. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. So I'm just here to say that, regards to what Trump is doing right now and how it impacts America in a positive way. Look at all the phony shields and stuff. I don't even see too many of my detractors, my trolls. Ain't none of them, right? Because it was all phony. I knew that. I busted them out, right? They were phony. These are phonies, right? This is all cap. They pay these shields to come on these social media groups, act like Trump is not doing a great job, trying to divide MAGA, attacking Erica Kirk. All this bullshit is not working, right? That's what it is. You know? I mean, they can even find my channel. I must be doing something right for them to be able to find me, but I was never let's say I never relent, I never faltered, what I'm saying? I kept the course because I knew the shit was phony. A lot of these shields are phony, man. I see them on YouTube a lot, Yeah, everybody has an opinion, have a right. I'm not against that, but it's not genuine. It's not organic. These people, for the most part, could be paid from anywhere to $250 a month up to $8,000 a month. I've been broke. We've been talked about that. Not that I broke the story. The story was already broke. I just reported it on it. I just reported on it. That's what I did. You know what I'm saying? So the show must go on. You know what I mean? These particular topics about Trump in a positive light is not going to be as popular on social media. What gets people more popularity when you denounce Trump, when you attack Trump. This is this type of stuff. I've seen people have much as 1.5K viewers. I've seen people with 500, 600. All you got to do is denounce Trump. You get a bunch of viewers in this room. This is exactly what it is. You won't get shadow banned at all. They won't suppress the algorithms, right? But as soon as you speak with truth to and power or truth to power, this is when they, because what you yet and still, we know who control the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't control itself. They got safeguards and things that are put up in there, right, to make sure that when I go live or anybody that's speaking truth go live, it's being suppressed. Then you get organic people that come up in here. They don't know what the hell you're talking about, and they just bop in and bop out. But like I said, a lot of us are being shadow banned still, right? Because they don't want this. Look at it. I can look at these nitwits and these idiots, right? They could have a fucking channel, right? They could have like a lot of viewers. You know what I'm saying? You know, with the women, if I was a female, I would probably fare better. You know what I'm saying? A little bit better. You know how that go. I said this before. I said this many of times. So that's all right though. That's okay though. That's why I'm glad I got a job. I'm glad I work because I had to depend on this ish to make some money. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you can't do it, but I'm glad I'm not one of them. You know what I'm saying? They pay you out every month. Shit, my work, I get paid every day, every week. I ain't gotta wait till no month for no damn check to come in. You know what I'm saying? No knocks for people that do. Yeah, the algorithms and stuff like that. They look at them suppressing it now. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not upset by it. But what I'm going to continue talking about, ladies and gentlemen, stuff of real importance, right? Because I think that Trump is doing a fantastic job, right? He's pushing forward without no resistance at all. He got resistance, but he's not resistant. He is opposition. I mean, opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? They're opposition. Trump is steady advancing, right? He's steady advancing, full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. We don't need traitors. That's why I'm glad that MTG was exposed. And we're going to see many more of them. She was never MAGA. And that is cool. We're not upset about that stuff. You know, hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Her political career is over. She can never come back to MAGA. She would be known as Marjorie Trader Brown, is what Trump calls her. And that title would stay with her for the rest of her life. Nobody in the MAGA sector is not going to trust her and deal with her. She ain't got no choice but to deal with who she always been dealing with. Deal with the low down traitorous Democrats. That's what she's going to be dealing with, right? She don't have nothing coming, ladies and gentlemen. And she knows this, right? This is why she's resigning. She doesn't have a career as a congresswoman anymore. She definitely don't have a career as a senator. And Trump wasn't going to endorse her. She has been undermining Trump. When she went on that view, that was to me, it was a camel that broke. It was a straw that broke the camel's back. You know what I'm saying? And she is not going to be missed. Not at all. Not at all. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it short. I'm not gonna do a long. I just want to get at least 30 minutes in talking about this type of stuff. I got a few people in the room. Not really. These are not really my supporters. Not really. I know who my supporters are. And shout out to my supporters, man. Guys that stood by me, like Omega, Joe Mama. You know what I'm saying? People that rock with your boy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Sherry as well. Barbecue Roadkill, 1000 RR. There's a few others. Some of those are my mods though too, So I give a shout out to you guys that rock with me since last year, you know what I'm saying? When I was first building my channel up. But a lot of these other people are not my supporters. They just come in curious, and that's cool. Curiosity. There's nothing to see here, nothing spectacular. So you may as well just go and find another channel. But to our supporters, I rock with you guys. You guys have rock with me, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. So that's cool. Yeah, there you go. Get on. Get on with yourself. You ain't my supporter. I'm talking about my supporters, man, that rock with your boy for real, for real. Because these people like what I was saying. And I have been speaking the truth. I have been the largest I think I ever have was 20K. 20K, 20,000 viewers, right? When I did the No Kings and things like that. The No Kings rally and things like that. When people were out there um, petitioning, you know what I'm saying? They were out there in this thing here against Trump, talking about No Kings. That was a bust, right? But I didn't put it as I was against it. I just said the No Kings rally. People showed up. People watched it. Numbers wasn't really up. That was the largest I ever had, man. That was the largest views I ever had. That's why I've said before, with the algorithm, they only like I said, criminals love criminals. Criminals don't like people that are good, people that stand by the law, but the criminals love that stuff. Just look at the Democratic Party. And it was something that somebody posted as a meme. It says that the Democrat Party should stop. You I said, what does it say? I'm trying to think of how it went. It says that when you end um, racism, right? You end racism when the Democrat Party stops supporting it politically. When they stop using race politically, that's when you start ending racism right here. As long as the Democrats, they're going to continuously use this thing called racism, and they're going to use it, and they're going to play victim at the same time. This is how they keep their control of the blacks and other type of groups of people, victimhood. Just like with that, what's that chick name with that old boy haircut? Look like a damn boy to me. What's her name? Greta Thunberg. Yeah, her, right? Greta Thunberg, man, with that boy haircut. That's a damn shame and things like that. The Swedish meatball, Greta Thunberg, right? You know what I'm saying? Don't make no damn difference at all, though. This is the same this old liberal bitch. She the one to get out there talking about climate change and all this shit. Now she over there trying to support Palestine or whatever like that. Well, you should be calling out Hamas, you idiot. You know what I'm saying? So she's over there on that quest now. It's all cap. These are the liberal bitches that I be talking about, right? They find every excuse and then play victim. I never been a fan of her with that boy haircut looking like a boy. She remind me of the person off of Dumb and Dumber with that. What's that one with the stupid haircut? Yeah, it was Jim Carrey. Y'all remember Dumb and Dumber? If you look at Jim Carrey haircut in Dumb and Dumber, this is what Greta's haircut looked like. It looks like the little boy haircut. Boy, I could stick Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber on Greta's body, and it would look no different. Boy, I tell you, man. Yeah, man, get the hell out of here. You are fake. You know what I'm saying? Anything for views and clicks, just like most of them. The whole climate change is bullshit. Bill Gates even admitted it finally, you know? You know what I'm saying? That's why she jumped off of that. Going to jump on this Palestinian bullshit. You know what I'm saying? What a waste. I ain't gonna say a waste. It don't do nothing for me. She doesn't do anything for me at all. This is another person, right? Right? Boy, I tell y'all, man. But I think I'm over. Almost at 30 minutes. I'm about to sign off of here, man. This is yeah, I'm about to go ahead and end this now. Slow out here in the streets. I'm gonna take the opportunity to do some other things. But I just wanted to have a conversation. And unfortunately, I don't see anybody today, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live, guys. I appreciate some people showed up to listen to what I had to say. I am out.